Texting. Holy shitballs.
It's freezing.
Summer is over, and I mean over.
Yeah, it's
it gone. Like it left skid marks. It's out of here. It is out of here. Like last year.
She gone, they gone.
Welcome to a, dare I say, frigid sack. There will be shrinkage tonight, ladies and gentlemen. There'll be shrinkage all over the place.
Frigid tonight. In more ways than one.
In more ways than one. That is the redoubtable one, Thomas Izzo. I am the highly questionable one, Arjun Miliajo. Although you can't question my politics anymore, can you, people? So anyway, welcome back, Mid-Sack Monday, Man Up Monday. We have a Donnie on Monday Night Football. We will get into that in segment 2. Two bitter rivals, rematch of the NFC title game last year, the Rams and the Niners. Jimmy G, porn star Jimmy, playing like Magic Mike right now. I got to tell you, he's rolling.
They call him Jimmy Guido.
Jimmy Guido. I got news for you. That's not what the ladies call him. But anyway,
do they call him? They should call him that.
Well, right now, listen. You can't argue with success. And he has the 5th highest win percentage in the entire NFL.
And he's the perfect
since
Guido.
2017. He has got Guido written all over him.
You put him on a Jersey Shore boardwalk, that guy's cleaning up.
Totally. Yeah, please. The situation would become...
That's what I'm saying.
The situation would become the sample next to him.
Right.
Okay, so anyway... welcome back to IDD. I don't disagree. For those of you not so in the know, it is a Man Up Monday. Segment 1, we are going to talk about frigid. Ooh, lordy. I should have made popcorn tonight. I should have made some popcorn because
frigid are the Mets bats.
There are some moments in life, folks. You can't wish. But when they happen, you got to treasure it. So, and I say that because
me getting my heart broken.
No. I actually want to see the Mets do well because of you.
Oh, well,
so
thank you. That means a lot.
And I've developed. You know what's funny? You've made me hate Atlanta. I mean, I really didn't have any feelings about them, but you have made me kind of... See, the thing about it is when a friend of mine, and he's a dear friend of mine, gets me to start looking at something, I don't just look at something. I mean, I really fucking dig into the fucking... I mean, you've seen me with the Patriots, so when I really want to look at the Celtics, you will pick one. But when I want to look into something, I mean, I have delved into this Atlanta baseball team.
So what makes you hate Atlanta?
Well, you know.
Thank you for properly calling.
You know what started it when you? Because I didn't know this. I remember what show we did. We were talking about baseball, and you went off on one of these things that irks you, and you were talking about how they were doing the shit
as they go to commercial break.
That instantly irked me because that is Florida State's. Florida State has had that forever since I was seeing that at high school back in the late '80s. Florida State was doing that shit with Bobby Bowden in their heyday, and they had
the Braves have been doing it for a long time too,
but not as it's Florida State's.
Okay,
let's be clear. It's Florida State.
That's fine.
And so that copycats drive me crazy.
I don't care whose it is. I don't like the channel.
It drives me crazy. But at least with Florida State's the Seminoles that they've had, that's a tradition. And I used to love it because the Indian would run out on the field on the horse with the spear in front. He'd throw it down right in front. That was cool. I mean, if you want to get jacked up, you just replay that. And the team's behind him, and he stands right over he stands the team, and he takes the spear. Boom! He throws it down, just stand. And I'm just like, that doesn't fire you up. I was just like, you're like, yeah, all right, here we go. And I didn't care about Florida State, but that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen for a pregame. So anyway, he brought this to my attention about that team down there in Georgia, and I can't say their name because I got me so mad at him. And who's the guy you hated, Olsen?
I mean, there's a bunch of them.
But you named a guy. Was it Olsen?
No, Strider.
Okay.
Strider.
I thought it was Olsen. Because Olsen hit back-to-back like dingers in each game in this series. Well, and I'm going...
Riley and Olsen went back-to-back in the first game.
Okay. But then he hit another one in another game. Olsen did. Yeah. He hit 2, I think.
Yeah.
And so...
he hit one off Bassett.
Yes.
Yesterday? Did he hit one off Scherzer, too? Dansby Swanson hit one in all 3 games.
Yes, he did. I remember.
Off DeGrom.
But he wasn't the one you said you hated, though.
No.
It's the other dude.
No, it was Strider.
Okay.
Strider's a pitcher. Strider was out.
I couldn't remember that. You said that too. I'm sorry, my bad. You said that when we were previously.
Yeah,
you wanted him to be playing. Yeah. So all right, I just forgot his name.
Looking back, Good God, it would have been worse if they faced Strider.
So I'm going to set the stage for my younger brother here because honestly, he needs to vent. I'm forthcoming here. When he walked out, he looked like he'd been gut punched. He came down. I don't know if I have it tonight. He just and I get it. I get it. I had those days where you got to it's Man Up Monday. You got to man up. You got to do it. First of all, you can't heal if you don't get it out. Then he put on a TikTok video of some nut job.
Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank. God love you, Frank, but you need fucking help, Frank. Oh my God. I thought I was this dude. Oh my God. He's a few sandwiches short of a cafeteria. Forget it. This dude. Holy shitballs.
Sandwiches short of a cafeteria?
He's more than a few. Okay,
you mean he's fat?
Wait, Mr. Big Lunch doesn't miss too many meals. Dude. What do you think?
But
I didn't say that. I was just thinking.
The worst part of those videos is not his weight.
No,
it's
I think he's gonna have a heart attack. There was 2 moments in the videos. I thought he's gonna keel over and die.
Call out the poor.
I was gonna call 911, but I just know where he is. They're gonna send help. This guy's gonna kill himself, just in a rage, in a blind rage. And I've been in those rages. Believe me, I know where he's coming from. But my God. So anyway, what I was saying to Tom, because we were texting back and forth throughout the afternoon, was like, look, man, you got to be the guy. You got to be that guy that gives that speech that gets back to that locker room. No. And he's like, no, they don't pay me. I'm like, fuck paying. This ain't about pay. This is about pain. Pain, not paying. Pain. Because I know, I could feel his pain. He was out in shot. I could feel the pain. I'm looking at the score. I'm going, oh, this is not going to sit well. And then Saturday came. I'm like, oh.
Let me be clear about one thing. Let me be clear about one thing. Mm-hmm. I never anticipate any of the words I say.
Of course not.
In a setting like this to motivate the Mets.
That's why it'll be true. You know why? Because it's going to be genuine.
Yeah, but
it's not something you rehearse.
But no, it's not. Like, I don't want to motivate them. I want to,
piss them off?
No.
Do you want to feel your pain?
No, I just want to yell at them.
Then yell at them because...
No, because that's silly.
It's not silly. All right, take this from a Red Sox fan, okay? If my team...
You're talking me down from being negative.
No,
you always talk me up to be positive.
No, I'm just... Listen, I'm not trying to... Listen, I'm saying if my team did this weekend what your team did in those... I can't tell you the bloodbath that would be ensuing up in Boston right now. But it would be millions of fans go because you don't expect.
Understand, this is the Mets.
It doesn't. It's New York. It's New York. You have just as passionate fan base. That nut job is one of them. Okay.
No, but I'm saying
just as passionate fan base as we.
Yes. Okay. I'm saying that this type of performance is come to be synonymous with the brand, and that's the demoralizing part. Is that whether or not that's true, and that that history of losing really stays with a team, it stays with a fan base.
Yeah, until
they break through.
It break through,
and not just we won one World Series. No,
you change
really
the culture.
Break through you become a consistent organization. Yeah. We haven't seen that.
Well, how long is this new? He's a new owner, right? Mm-hmm. He's only been here, a year?
Yeah, last year was his first year.
So he hasn't had time to do that yet, but he's trying to do do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's willing to spend the money. Mm-hmm. God love him, because as a fan, you just give me a guy who's not afraid to spend money. Because nobody hates a cheap billionaire more than a fan, okay? Because he's usually the owner of your team, and it drives you up a fucking wall. Because he's got the money, he just doesn't care.
Yeah, no, this isn't.
Yeah, this guy is not that guy.
Steve Cohen's a Met fan who happens to be a multi-billionaire.
This is why this is a good sign long term, because Robert Kraft was a Patriots fan. He used to go to the games as a kid. His dad had seats, so he grew up on that team. So this is a good thing. He's actually a fan.
Yeah, I have no qualms.
So my thing would be, you think you're mad? I'd like to be a wall in his mansion. How many fucking you imagine he's screaming millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and they go down there? Can you imagine?
I don't know.
Somebody got fired.
I don't think that's him.
How do you know?
I don't know. When I look at him, I don't see that. I see a guy that's like, look, I know making this investment, he knows that it's not going to happen instantly.
Of course, yeah, but that doesn't mean you don't get mad about it.
I don't know. I couldn't see him getting mad.
Dude, they were in first place all fucking year.
It's like 172
days
to 3
they literally, out of 162 games, they were in first place for 158 of them.
Yeah, it sucks.
I got news for you. You think he's not pissed about that? And it's the Braves. Mm-hmm. It isn't just anybody.
No, it's the Atlanta baseball.
It's the Atlanta baseball. I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But the bottom line is, it's not just anybody. It's them. And up until yesterday, you at least had the tiebreaker. So you lost the whole thing in one 3-weekend bloop shit pile.
Why are you telling me what happened?
I'm saying
I lived it.
I know. I'm saying
you don't have to tell me what happened.
You think the owner who spent all that money Okay, he's probably going, and he knows he's a fan like you. So all the collapses and you think this is going through his head right now?
I don't know. He's a billionaire. I
But
think
he's
billionaires,
still
I think
bought the
billionaires
team.
think differently.
But he bought the team.
Yeah, I
he
know.
loves it so much. He put his money into it.
I know.
He's passionate about it. 'Cause he's smart. He's mature enough to not blow up on camera.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean when the camera goes off, he's not.
What I hate is the way it happens to them. You know, it really sucks to see a team kind of be overwhelmed by the pressure of the moment. You know, because you want them to compete at their best. But then you see them in these games like this. And it wasn't like this all season. The Mets faced really big moments throughout this season and came through.
Yeah, time and time again.
They had a 5-game series with Atlanta at Citi Field
Yep.
in July, I believe it was. They took 4 of 5.
Yeah.
Before that, they went down to Atlanta without Starling Marte. They took DeGrom and took 2 of 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, they had dominated the season series against Atlanta.
At one point,
They had
wasn't it
dominated.
like 9-3?
Yes,
At
or
one
9-4.
point, or not, whatever it was. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
and
at
then
one point, yeah, they
all
were
of
the
a
better
sudden,
team.
after that 5-game series,
Yeah.
Mets went down there for a 4-gamer, lost 3 of 4.
Yeah.
And it totally just
From there,
changed the dynamic.
Yeah.
You know, and then they ended up. It just sucked going into this series. The Mets tried to get their pitching in order. They actually flipped the order, which some people were screaming about. Scherzer on regular rest would have pitched on Friday,
but
they flipped it and pitched DeGrom there.
why?
I don't know. I think DeGrom was already going to be pitching on too much rest.
So they bumped him up a day.
So they didn't
and
want
coincided with they maybe wanted to give Scherzer an extra day.
right. So they bumped him back.
So in theory, it actually made sense.
It wasn't a major deal.
Yeah.
You know?
No.
But the fact that they felt like, okay, we're going to line up our 1, 2, and 3 starter.
Yeah, 'cause it
The
was
strength of our team.
yeah, because they knew the importance of it.
And we're going to win this series and we're going to, you know.
Isn't that what
basically win the
Atlanta
division.
did? Did
No.
Atlanta pitch their 3 best pitchers?
No. Strider's hurt.
Well, he can't pitch. What about the rest of them?
Yeah, I mean, we got Freed. We got Kyle Wright, their 20-game winner. And
Yeah.
we got Charlie Morton. Yeah, pretty much.
So they pretty much did the same thing because they knew the importance of
Yeah.
it. So it wasn't like
No, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
I'm saying the fact that it, and like going into it, they won a game in extra innings. The Braves lost the game in extra innings. Everything stacked up for the Mets to take it.
yeah,
And they just kind of shrunk,
they shrunk in the moment,
you know, and that sucks.
like a team over my right shoulder in green, who shrunk,
the Celtics.
in the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Because though I was calling them stupid, what was happening was the moment was just too big for them.
Yeah.
They weren't
It gets
ready.
scary.
You get scary. I know because I've been on that floor. Of course, I was 16, not 25. But the moment can intimidate you.
Yeah.
I felt that, and for me to call them stupid was not fair. That was anger, that was passion, and because they played a lot smarter at different times. I'm like, where'd their brain go? But in the moment like that, the first thing that
got
goes is up here. It is because you're not thinking clearly. You're caught up in the moment.
Yeah.
So so that what you think happened?
I've been scared in rec league games. I've been scared in freaking like just nervous in like a pickup game.
Bill Russell threw up
If
before
I
every
had been
single
on
game.
a stage like this, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do anything either.
Yeah.
It sucks when it seems like that's what happened. It's like y'all really did not play to your potential, and it's not because you're not good enough. It's just like there was too much pressure. You overthought it. That's what it seemed like, you know. Or maybe
maybe that was it. I don't know.
Or maybe the Braves are just a better team.
That's very possible.
I mean,
by the
because
way.
I have been saying that the Braves are a better team,
You kind of have
but
for a while.
but the Mets just kept staying in front of them, you know. But
Well,
it just didn't turn out that way.
water seeks its level.
It sucked. It really sucked.
Eventually, water seeks its level.
Jacob
So-
DeGrom, Max Scherzer, Francisco Lindor, and Pete Alonso basically weren't at that series. That's what it felt like. You know, and I mean, Alonso was on base a little here and there. But yeah, it was just like you didn't hear from them. But the Braves stars, the Atlanta baseball team stars, they all did stuff.
They showed up.
Yeah. Swanson, Riley.
Yeah. That speaks to one team has been there and one team happy.
Yeah.
That's what that
definitely.
speaks to, because that's called flipping a switch.
Yeah.
And you know it when you see it. I caught parts of these games.
Yeah,
I was
well,
in my
they've
football bad
had
days,
this-
but
they've
I
had
kept
this-
flicking over to see.
Dude, they've had this
And-
switch flip since June 1st.
Well, because they knew they knew the distance.
Yeah.
They knew how far they had to go.
They've literally had that
And look,
switch.
the Mets had to help here a little bit, because there were some series or some games they flat out shouldn't have lost. So the Mets, a couple, not a lot, but a couple.
The Mets what?
There were some games along the way to that series that they shouldn't have lost that they did lose.
That's the reason
Yeah.
this series mattered.
Yeah. So
Because
the
they
Mets let
went
them
like
back into it.
6-8 against
Yeah.
the Cubs, the Nats,
Yeah.
the Marlins, and the A's.
Which again,
You can't do that.
when did that start? Because everybody points to the All-Star break when Atlanta turned on the turbo.
Atlanta turned it on June 1st.
Yeah. So
The Mets did this in September.
Yep.
The end of August into September.
the home stretch.
They totally
When everything gets a little
they
bit
had
bigger.
they had the easiest schedule on paper.
The rest of the season from September 1 on.
Yes, exactly. And the Braves had like the fourth easiest.
That is not good at all.
It was there for them to have.
Yeah. Well, that makes it even
And
worse.
They just didn't take it.
Didn't take it.
And of course you say things like, "Oh well, Starling Marte got hurt." Okay, like you can't beat the Cubs without Starling
Yeah,
Marte.
you should be. Yeah,
You can't beat the Nats
Yeah.
2 out of 3 without Starling Marte. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
step the F up.
Yeah.
And just win those games you were supposed to. Then you would have went into this series playing much looser, because it would have meant everything for the Braves. Or at that point, it wouldn't have meant anything to either of y'all. But
Let me ask you this: now that it's over, because let's be honest, Atlanta's not losing 3 in a
Yeah.
row, and your guys ain't winning 3 in a row.
the Braves just lost tonight.
Yeah, well, because they probably know you guys are going to throw it.
Yeah, they don't. There's no pressure.
Yeah, there's no
There's
pressure.
no way we're taking 3 from the Nats, and there's no way they're losing 3 from the Marlins. But
wouldn't bet.
what's the question?
Well, given what happened over the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
if you're New York, do you now shut down everything that matters in your lineup and just get ready for the postseason
Of course.
and just line everything up because you know you got a longer run now? It's going to be you got to get everything. Now,
Well, I
do you
don't-
take that extra time? You don't even play some of these guys.
No.
Just heal
no,
everybody
no.
up because you need to be 100%. What do you do? Give
So
me
the,
what do you think?
the Braves lost tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to play tomorrow, normal. Because
Yeah.
if you sweep the doubleheader against the Nats and they lose, now
It comes down to one game.
it comes down to one game
Again.
and maybe they could lose.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. But at this point, there's nothing to shut down because their top 3 pitchers all pitched over the
Yeah,
weekend.
they're not going to pitch again anyway.
They can't pitch till the
Yeah.
wild card series.
Yeah.
I mean,
What about the rest of what about the lineup? Maybe the lineup be banged up, bruised. They should just
No.
shut them down for
No.
5 days. No. Okay.
no.
All right.
I mean,
Just
maybe
asking.
maybe Nimmo could use a day.
Yeah.
He's their leadoff hitter, and he had tightness in his quad.
Yeah.
But I think you have to see if the Braves win or lose tomorrow. So you got to go into tomorrow
At least
with your lineup
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
sweep a doubleheader,
Sure.
just in case the
Just in
Braves
case.
lose.
Yeah. No. That's fair. I
You
get
know,
it. Yeah.
and if they do win, then the next day sit who you want to sit.
Sure.
You
Okay.
know? But it's just
Do we know who they're going to draw yet, or we
Yeah.
don't? Who?
Well, no.
Oh, it's going to be
so-
San Diego, right? No, we don't
so
know.
it's San Diego or the Phillies.
I think I know who you want. You want the Phillies.
Yeah.
Yeah. How close? What's
The Phillies are no slouch, but
No, they're not. But I
but-
don't think they're.
so the Padres won the season series against the Mets this year.
I know. I remember you saying that.
I think it was 4-2,
So I played
6 games?
Only played twice. Okay.
6 games.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's not
so
a big sample size.
no. Mets lost 2 out of 3 out there and lost 2 out of 3 at home.
That doesn't mean anything.
I know. But against the Phillies, who they played 20 times, 19 times, they were 14-5.
Yeah. You know them too. You know everything they're going to do because you've
But-
seen them so much.
How much can you keep beating the same team before?
I don't know. It's 14-5. I don't think that 14-5 team wants to see you.
Right. Yeah, no
So,
doubt. No doubt.
What do they got to be confident about?
No, you're
So,
right.
I
That's what
mean,
I'm saying. Like, but I never want
If
to.
I'm Philly, I don't want to see the
I
Mets.
never
So-
want to disparage an opponent going into a series like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you had to pick, you don't want the Padres.
No.
Freaking
Too
Joe
exposed.
Musgrove,
Yeah.
Ian Snell, Yu Darvish is their 1-2-3.
Yeah, that's nasty.
That's sick.
That's filthy. It's dirty.
You know, those are 3 number 1 pitchers,
I know.
and then
Yeah.
their lineup.
Yeah,
we
they
know
can
what their
hit,
lineup
and we know
is.
what their lineup is. Yeah.
But it's funny. I heard somebody talking about them going. I think who is their manager?
Who? San Diego?
Yeah, it's not Bud Snell, is it?
I don't remember. I can see his face, but I can't remember his name.
I don't think it's Bud Snell. But somebody was talking about San Diego. If it wasn't for their manager, they never would have stayed together. They went through so much this year.
So much.
They were like the Tatis stuff, the trade deadline stuff. I'm like, okay, so the Tatis stuff, okay, yeah, star player used PEDs. But the trade deadline, you guys became a superpower at the trade deadline.
They did.
You didn't go through something at the trade deadline. You massively improved your team.
The trials and tribulations.
And then still played mediocre the rest of the season.
I know, in fact, less than mediocre. Kind of backed into this, didn't they?
Well,
did they actually get hot? No, they didn't, because their last 10, they're 4-6.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't. They kind of backed into it.
They didn't back in.
They kind of backed in.
It's just that second rung of teams was not that good.
Yeah, hence the ability to back in.
Yeah.
But
I just thought it was funny how talking about how much they went through, and I'm like, yo, this team is built.
I mean, Milwaukee's not out of it.
How far back are they?
2.
They're out of it.
Okay.
You think
don't
Philly
know.
could get swept? Oh, Philly's playing the Astros.
Yeah, they are, and I think they're losing.
I thought they were winning.
Well, I didn't check the latest score. Let me see.
I mean, the Phillies could get swept by the Astros.
It's 1-0 in the 5th.
Astros?
Phillies Astros. Phillies are up 1-0 in the 5th. Talk to Donnie right now.
Man, that's a tough
way to
the
close.
Phillies pulled the Astros?
Yeah, that's a tough way to close.
Final series? God, that is tough.
That's tough. Luckily, the Astros have locked up everything.
A week ago,
yeah, a
right?
lot of the Astros aren't playing for them.
All right, so to go back to the Mets.
Yeah, go back to the Mets.
So, look, as annoyed as I am, you never know what can. I'm actually wearing a Boston hoodie. Don't let it fool you. Somebody gave it to me as a gift. Keeps me warm. I love it. And,
Boston keeps you warm.
Boston ain't bad.
No, we have our moments. No.
But, yeah, I mean, I guess the Mets could still do it. It's tough to have confidence in them after seeing that. However,
we've had our moments, yeah.
Sometimes you need to fall on your face in order to see what that feels like to prevent it from happening again. So maybe if this had to happen, it happens now. They know what that feeling is like. They never want to experience it again. They learn and understand, hey, we kind of got away from ourselves a little bit because there was a lot of pressure on those games. Well, how about we take a different approach as we go into the playoffs and just be ourselves, and you'll fucking beat any team you face. But if you go into these series and you go, oh God, I need a double now.
And your
I need a double.
Your scrotum goes up into your sphincter.
God, I need a double.
If your scrotum goes down in your sphincter.
Oh God, dude, give me a double, God. Give me a double, God.
You can't hit with your scrotum up in your sphincter.
Right. If you go up to the plate praying to your God to get a hit,
Joe Boo,
you're never going to get a hit, okay? God doesn't give a shit. If there is a God, that God does not give a shit about any of this stuff. You just got to be yourself and you'll be fine. Okay?
He's not going to like this, but I'm big on facts. So, and by the way, he's really going to not like it when he uses where I go with this. So anyway.
Why am I not going to like what?
Because of the analogy I'm about to give you, because this actually happened. And it literally, what happened to your team this weekend happened. Okay?
Well, before you say that, what do you think of what I said?
It makes total sense what you said.
Right.
And I'm going to give you proof that you're right.
Okay.
I'm going to validate.
Then why wouldn't I like that?
Because because it's hockey.
Oh,
so.
All right, put it on me. Don't go too deep into
1980.
This. Don't go too deep into this.
U.S. Olympic trials.
I know.
Madison Square Garden.
A little different, but
not really. This team was the champion.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. They come into Madison Square Garden, and the first thing these guys do before the puck goes out, they had played the NHL All-Stars about 6 weeks prior, and they whipped their ass like 7-0. That was the best NHL All-Star team with Wayne Gretzky. Not young Wayne, but I mean,
these
guys.
About the Russians.
The Russians. They wiped out they wiped them out. Okay. And so now they're playing this bunch of teenagers and young 20-year-old USA team, and they beat them 10-3 in Madison Square Garden. And it wasn't That
This was before
close.
the Olympics.
This was 13 days before they would meet again.
So this was before the Olympics.
Right before the Olympics, they played them 3 days before the
Just a
Olympics
friendly?
started. It was an exhibition game right before, and Herb Brooks did this for a reason. Okay, he knew that to beat that team, you got to see them up close. Seeing them on tape is one thing. Seeing them up close, hold on, you have to adjust to them. You can't adjust to them unless you face them. So basically, he conned them into a scrimmage. Now, the Soviets had no idea what was going on because they'd won 44 in a row, averaging over 10 goals a game. Okay. Against the entire world. Okay, that's how good the Russians were. Okay,
You're getting deep.
So
Let's
the point
go.
is, they bitch slap, bend over, don't ask for lube, just all over the ice. Bodies are over. Callahan gets hurt. The kid for OC. Everybody goes down. It's a mishmash. They're all going. Somebody said if there was a white towel, they would have thrown it.
They
okay?
want Tony Erosioni.
It was
Who do you play for?
It was Balboa against Clubber Lang. Okay, it was Apollo against Drago. That's what it was.
Michael D'Antonio
It was
Rosi
unbelievable.
Pazzapuli.
Him too. All right, all of them pounded, bent over,
smack.
pounded in the ass by the Soviets. It was terrible. Okay, so much so Herb Brooks was gonna bench the goalie, who ended up being the MVP because he's like Herb, that's my net, man. He's like, oh, they just scored 10 goals. It's everybody's net. Okay, just great line by the way. So anyway, they see them again. 13 days later,
In the
semifinals, and pull off the greatest upset in the history of sports.
Well, okay, so again, kind of different.
Not really, because is there a chance you could run into this team again?
Oh, I hope we do.
Yes, there's a very good chance you could run into this
If
team
there's
again.
something people could pray to God for, pray to God.
And this is the thing. And if this, listen,
Again,
if
that God probably.
And if I am the Mets, if I'm in that locker room after what just happened this weekend, I've got Jobu out. I am literally going to just give us one more shot. I don't care where it is.
If I'm the
I don't care.
Mets,
Give us one more shot at those motherfuckers. And Jobu's going to say,
Yes.
you have to get there first.
Well, this is what the Mets have to do. If I'm the Mets, I'm not losing another fucking game.
No.
The Nats can kiss my ass. I don't care if
They
these
have to
games
see-
mean anything.
they have to
We're going
see-
to walk on the Nats' face. Okay.
They have to send
We're
a
just going to
message.
say, you know what?
Okay.
Why are you even here?
That's it.
Goodbye.
Get out.
Then they're going to bring the Padres to New York. We're not playing 3 games.
No.
2, and you guys can fly back.
Yep.
Then we're going to play
Pound
the
them.
Dodgers.
Yep. And go, oh, really? Take your
And,
111 and
yeah. And
Okay.
that one, we might have to drop a couple games and win it in 5, but that's fine.
That's fine.
Because then,
Yep.
if Atlanta hasn't shit the bed
They won't.
and lost to Philly or the Cardinals
Do
or
you
the Brewers,
I don't think they will.
as long as they haven't pooped the bed on that one, then we'll see them again.
Does Atlanta strike you as a team that poops itself?
Any team is capable of pooping itself.
No.
Yes, it
You're
is.
gonna no. They're capable of being beaten, but sometimes the opponent is just better. They didn't poop themselves. The opponent was just better.
My thing is, if they get beat by the Phillies
That's choking. That's
the
choking.
Cardinals, they pooped themselves.
I can't see them losing.
You're right.
There are 2 teams that can beat them. You got one, and the other one's out in California.
Jeez.
That's it. It's
We
2
went
teams.
10-9 against the Atlanta baseball team.
Yeah, so it's I think America would want to see this
That
again.
would be a great
That
series.
because if anybody who actually watch this series, like if they met in the postseason, that would be a lot of fun. It really would be.
Well,
but things have to happen to his point to get to that point.
I hope that
and the
they
Dodgers
get,
are
I
moving.
hope that they get to, because that means
Yeah.
the Mets are still alive.
Yeah. So
And,
My
I think
thing
the
is-
championship series was my expectation.
yeah, you said before actually when we made our predictions, you said they got to get to the NLCS or the season's a failure.
Not a failure. I'd be upset. Not a failure.
I would think it is because they had the 3rd or 4th best record in baseball.
Sure. Yes.
I
you
would
can call it
think-
a failure.
I would call
but
it a
I guess in my mind, it's like,
Unless it's an injury. Somebody goes down in game 1 or game 2 and they don't have the man, the horses, that's different. But if all things are equal and they got everybody, they got all their number, if those 5 studs are all present and accounted for, they better show the fuck
yeah,
up.
you need to go to
They
the
better show the
championship
fuck up.
series.
I don't want to hear about, we got the Nets tomorrow. No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Dude, but that was the crazy thing. It was like, and I know you looked at some of the pitching numbers and you were like,
did.
look, DeGrom gave up 3 runs. Scherzer gave up 4 runs.
They weren't
it was-
terrible.
Right. They weren't terrible.
terrible.
But at the same time, they showed vulnerability
Yeah.
at a time where they needed to be dominant.
Yeah, but this is where the other half of the team has to take their head
That's
out of their
true.
ass.
That's
Because
true.
how many times did you guys go 0 for 50 and that guy throws a 1-hitter or strikes out 12 or whatever? They bailed you out. That's what a team does. They
I
pick each other
understand.
up.
I understand.
And that's
But
where they,
in the biggest moments, your dogs have to do it. And they didn't. Scherzer can't give up 4 runs.
no, he can't.
Chris Bassett got
he
staked to a 3-1 lead and then blew up and couldn't get out of third inning.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you've been the most reliable pitcher.
He didn't get out of the third inning. That's really bad.
terrible.
That's really bad.
He was at 75 pitches in the third inning. He
really
yanked him.
He really crapped in his.
And he had to walk off to the cell phones going like this, and the whole crowd go, oh.
That's terrible.
That's what they do when a pitcher gets pulled.
The cell phones come out. They do it.
They turn all the lights off.
But the cell phones, and you see that stupid.
You see that,
that would drive me nuts.
And you hear the tomahawk chant, Native American, oh, but it's a bunch of corny Georgians doing this.
Doing that.
With their cell phone.
Doing the FSU Florida Seminole chant. So they're not even original. Just like the unoriginal bastards.
And the other thing was, like,
that's terrible.
The Mets had a lead in every game.
I know they did.
Well, not a large lead.
No, but they were ahead.
But they were. So they gave DeGrom 1-0.
Yep.
Following inning, back-to-back home runs. They're down 2-1.
Yeah.
I can't remember what lead they gave Scherzer, but they did give him a lead.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Might have been 2-0.
They were ahead at some point in that game. I remember seeing that.
Yeah. But he gave up. He gave up bombs.
Yeah. Yeah, they were blast.
And then Bassett just.
Bassett just mailed it in.
Yeah.
The moment was definitely too big for him. Two and a third. That's 20-game winner, 2 in a game of that magnitude. You're a putz. That's why you're the 3. Anyway, it's fun. When they start Friday or Saturday?
The wild card?
Yeah.
Starts Friday.
Okay, so Friday they are playing on Friday.
They have 1 day break.
Okay.
And then.
So Friday, Sunday is what they'll be doing?
Might
or
be
Saturday,
Friday,
Monday?
Saturday. Might be Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Because remember, they're all in the
They're all in the same place. Yeah, they're not traveling.
So let's see if we can get a. I don't know if I can get that.
Oh, he's looking at that. Just quick update. Monday Night Football, San Francisco 14, Rams 6, second quarter.
Wow.
That's out in up in Candlestick. Is it still Candlestick Park? I know it's Candlestick Park
I
anymore.
don't think it's Candlestick.
It's not anymore. It's something else. But let's see. 14-6. It's at halftime. I'm sorry. Jimmy G, porn star Jimmy, 9 of 17. Hold on, let me go back to what do you do?
Porn star Jimmy.
Porn star Jimmy. Oh, Debo again. Debo. Jimmy G, 9 of 17, 138, and a touchdown, solid first half. The running back, Williams, 7 carries, 44 and a touch. And then Debo, 3 catches, 79 and a touchdown. San Fran looking like a team that's pissed off right now, yeah. So they're holding serve at halftime. Still got a second half. But it's still a one-score game technically, so that could be a Donnie in the second half. Any luck with that? Who's what or when they start?
So it does look like Friday.
It is Friday, okay.
NL Wild Card Game 1 is the NL Wild Card number 2 and the NL East runner-up. So if the Mets are the wild card, they're playing Friday.
They're playing Friday, okay.
Yep, and then...
So, Mets, go bury your head in the sand.
Friday and Saturday.
Wake the fuck up.
And Sunday if it goes that far.
Do a little self-eval. Little scrotum check. Make sure they're both down there. Okay? Man up. Because I don't have to take my man to the hospital because he had a fucking heart attack on his lawn because you dickheads couldn't show up. That's a motivation from Boston. Anyway.
That's funny.
We're going to end this segment on that.
Please, come on. My God. Get it together. I didn't even talk about Showalter's questionable moves.
Do you want to?
Yes.
Okay. Why not? Some point.
Okay, so, and I won't say it's just Showalter. I think it was team leadership.
As I call him, fuck no baller. Anyway.
So, they botched a couple things here.
Yes.
Midway through the season, little beyond the halfway point, they had a couple prospects, 3 prospects that were hitting the cover off the ball.
I remember 2 of them.
Brett Beatty,
Beatty.
Mark Vientos, and Francisco Alvarez.
Vientos was, I don't remember Alvarez, but the other 2, yeah.
Vientos was the one in AAA.
Yeah.
Beatty and Alvarez were making their way up.
Beatty came up and hit the home run in his first game, which was a big hit. Yeah, big hit. Helped him, yeah.
Now, he didn't do anything else.
No.
He got hurt. He got hurt after that, but that was it.
Yeah. But he's young.
So he was young.
He's young.
He wasn't ready.
Oh, that's all right.
But around the trade deadline, they brought on Danny Vogelback and Darren Ruff.
Vogelback the truck, right?
Right. Yeah. Vogelback looks like me.
Vogelback. Vogelback looks like he's that guy that's the first guy at every keg party and the last guy to leave.
Yeah.
That's him. That's him. And when he leaves, he's going to another keg party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they brought in Vogelback to be lefty DH. Brought in Darren Ruff to be the righty DH. Darren Ruff did nothing for a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah.
2 months. He did nothing. And they stuck with him when they could have started going down to the rookies, Vientos or Alvarez.
Okay.
Because we needed a right-handed DH. You traded for a guy. Okay, you tried.
Yeah.
But after 2 months, why did you wait so long to do something about that?
Good question.
So,
valid question.
So instead,
yeah. I would have asked that question.
They keep waiting and waiting. Eventually, they bring up Vientos. Vientos hasn't done anything since coming to the majors. He can't hit. Okay. Then they wait, and they bring up, and in addition to the DH being so bad, they also have a catching situation that's pretty bad. They platoon James McCann and Tomas Nido. Okay. James McCann hasn't had a hit since 1972. And he was born in 75.
Wow, that must have been hell of a
Okay.
Well, just out of curiosity, was it a single?
It was a single. Double? It was a single, no. James McCann is not performing.
At least he hit for contact.
He's splitting time with Tomas Nido, who is not a heavy hitting catcher, but is hitting better than McCann this entire season. Okay. So then they wait until the day of the most important series, and they call up the number one prospect in baseball, Francisco Alvarez, their 20-year-old catching prospect. The biggest series of the year. And he strikes out left and right, throwing the bat over the net as he's swinging.
So he came unglued.
Yeah, he really did. But it's like they mismanaged that 2 months before it ever happened, basically. Yeah. You know, like if this guy was going to help us this year, you had a chance to bring him up even 15 days ago.
Sure.
Just to get his feet wet, you know? But you didn't. It just and the move seemed botched. Yesterday he started James McCann. Buck does basically they play every other day. Okay. But McCann is not hitting.
Yeah.
So this is not a game where you go, well, I've gone every other day for the past month. No, you say, I need my best lineup.
Now, yeah.
And then
so he played in the Mets series.
Who? James McCann?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember him.
He was there. He was in the game last night.
Okay. Well, he may. When I turned it on, he may not have been up. Right.
Right. Well, he's the catcher.
I probably caught 3-4 innings of each of those games. Yeah. It was spread. I'd catch two and.
But here was how you know it was a bad move. In the 8th or 9th inning, he pinch hit Nido for McCann.
In the 9th inning.
They're both right-handed batters. So it wasn't even like a matchup thing. It's
you waited for the 9th inning?
Well, my thing is okay, so Nido is a better hitter.
Why isn't Nido starting?
Why isn't Nido starting?
Why isn't he starting?
Because defensively, Nido's just as good.
Yeah, why are you waiting, giving this guy 3 cuts in a game you gotta have? Right.
And he came up in big spots too. But
well, see, I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, so that wasn't
good.
Me
even more mad.
And then he used, it was like he was experimenting with the bullpen. And it's like, you can't be experimenting in these games.
Buck Showalter was a Yankee, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, he left right before they went on their epic run in the late 90s.
So he never got any of that.
No, apparently I think I heard the story yesterday. So they were going to make him fire his hitting coach. And he said, no, I won't do it.
They dump him and they go on to win 5 World Series?
Yeah. In comes Joe Torre. Goodbye. Sorry, Buck.
Well, Buck.
Well, I mean,
I can't even tell you to man up like a Yankee would because you're not a Yankee. Because a Yankee, to me, has at least one ring on his damn finger. He falls into a ring. They've got so fucking many of them, okay? You somehow managed to avoid it.
Look, stay off of Buck, all right? That's my manager.
Which would make you truly unique.
I can yell about Buck. You can't.
He's a Yankee. I can yell about him.
You just said he's not a Yankee.
Well, he's the kind. Why didn't you stick around, you asshole?
He didn't want to fire his guy, I guess.
If he sticks around, maybe they don't win it.
Well, maybe he should have just said, look, this is a
maybe
business.
They're still at 22.
You're fired.
Maybe they're still at 22.
I think he should have just been able to look at a guy and say, look, somebody's got to get fired.
So you didn't fuck New York enough, so now you went to the Mets? Is that how it was, Bucky?
He's been great this year.
Buck?
But
I would beg to differ.
He's been outstanding this year.
Oh, well.
But he's also made mistakes.
Year's not over.
He's also made mistakes.
Plenty of time, Buck, for you to... When it counts.
I mean, it's kind of happened already.
No, it hasn't yet. They're not. Yours in the playoffs.
Right. But,
you guys go splat against a team, and then and he pulls this crap.
This is turning negative. I don't like it.
He pulls this crap in the postseason. Then you can really have a little, So anyway, Buck.
Damn it! Don't talk bad about Buck.
I don't know how you did it. You set the stage.
No, I was talking about the game.
Okay.
You started talking about the man.
Well, you were talking about the questionable moves he made when it mattered most.
Yeah.
Did you not?
Oh, and here's another thing. Last night, Vogelback, boom, hits a bomb.
Yeah.
He either gave him a lead or tied the game. Then he singles in a run. Okay? Then in a big moment, we finally get the starting pitcher out. Lefty comes in. He pinch hits Alvarez, the 20-year-old rookie for Vogelback, who was 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs and a bomb. And what do you think Alvarez does?
Do I have to yell at Buck?
Nothing.
I don't have to say a damn thing. I think that there sums it up.
Like, Buck.
Because that's beyond stupid.
Well, it's like, okay, so you're gonna
that's
go,
moronic. In fact,
you're
it's
going with the
moronic.
matchup of, well, Alvarez is a righty.
You guys are dying for runs
Right.
now. You can't steal. You can't. I mean, and the guy that's actually producing runs,
Right.
and hasn't missed the ball yet.
You pull him.
You pull him
But see, and that's where I think
because
the moment was too big for everybody, it seemed like.
well, the moment can't be too big for the manager, or that's
I
a
know.
problem. That's a
And
problem.
so maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was just like, now, I will say, Danny Vogelback has had some really bad stretches.
I understand that, Tom.
But on a night where he's 2
he's
for
2
2
for
with
2
a
with a bomb
I mean,
and 2
like,
RBIs already.
Like, come on.
You don't take out the hottest bat in the lineup when you haven't had a hot bat in the lineup.
Right, exactly. That's
See, this is about common sense in me. Or this is the thing. Forget everything you know. If you're in a game that you have to have, and you've got 5 runs in the other 2 games, what would you take that guy out because a left-handed pitch? No, for what? A rookie who hadn't what? He didn't replace him with Tony Gwynn.
No, he replaced him with a 20-year-old.
A 20-year-old
who
wet behind the
night
ears.
before was, like not even close to anything. Like if he swung the bat here, the ball was here. You know what I'm saying? Like he was missing the ball by a mile. Now,
what about this makes sense?
He had a good at bat last night, but still, that's the thing. It's impressive for a guy that young to have a good at bat. He shouldn't be expected to come in and save the day for the Mets in his first game.
Take out the one hot bat you got when you didn't have a hot bat pretty much all fucking weekend.
Exactly.
I'm mad about this. It's not even my team. The stupidity of it. I say I can't say. I can't stand stupid coaching in anything. And a lot of times it's overthinking it. This sounds like he overthought it. Okay. And we get to another coach in the second segment about overthinking.
Okay,
but anyway, the bottom line is.
hang on. It could be over or under, too. You could have underthought.
Why just leave it alone?
Well, my thing is like.
Leave it the fuck alone.
When I say underthink it, it's almost like, well, this is what we've done all year, so we're doing it. That's not thinking.
You were 10 games up all year.
Right.
Now you're tied.
No, this is it. It's all right here. So that's where it's almost like if your procedure, your policy or your procedure, or your routine says, okay, when they bring in a lefty, we take Vogie out, in comes a right-handed bat. Okay, in this situation, Vogie's had a nice night. Alvarez is deer in the headlights. Okay, let's take a step back and go. This is Vogie is the right choice here.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is what coaching is all about. I'm gonna sum it up for you. You hear this word a lot. It drives me up a wall, and I get why it's there, and it's not that it doesn't have value, but you hear that word that starts with an A, analytics. Okay, there's analytics, and then there's feel. there's feel.
But I thought Buck was such a feel guy.
Well, clearly he is not if he made a fucking monumental mistake like that. Because honestly, if I was a Mets fan, I'd have jumped. That fat dude you were just showing me, that would have been a Swedish massage compared to what I would have been doing if that was my team. And I'd have screamed, you'd have heard me in Charlottesville. If the Red Sox, and that happened, oh my fucking God, I'd have lost my mind. I'd have been texting you going, you won't fucking believe this. You won't fucking believe this. You'd have heard about it 6 times.
It's like Grady Little's. It's like Grady Little's dumbass.
When he took Peter, they were still talking about that.
It's like
okay? Yeah. This is the thing, though. There's the analytics and then there's feel. The great ones have the feel. They understand. That's there too, but they weigh the two. And then this feels right. This guy's finally hot. And he hasn't been hot. So finally this guy looks like he's hot. You don't take the guy out when he finally finds his rhythm. And you milk that for all it's worth when you're devoid of runs.
Yeah.
That's just common sense 101. It's like that's
milk it when the other option isn't better.
That's what I'm saying. It's not even a better option.
Right. It's not
a 300 hitter. It's not anything.
Right. If it was that, at least you could say, well, okay, this is what you did, and the guy you're bringing up is a beast.
Analytically, beyond the fact it's a lefty, it makes no sense.
Right.
Okay? Because the only thing for the argument is, well, it's a left-handed pitcher. Right. I don't give a fuck if he's pitching out of his asshole. Yeah, the bottom line
that's the thing. He might have made Vogelback look stupid, but hey, I would have rather seen that than the 20-year-old kid.
Because then he can at least say, why don't you pull Vogelback? I'm like, pull the one guy who was hitting for us?
Right.
Have you noticed what's been going on this weekend? Like, I had a field day with this as a manager going, have you not watched we're devoid of runs here. I'm going to take out the one guy who's not producing because no, he's got to.
But I will admit this. Every time that kid came up, I did get excited, even in that moment. And that's only because he is supposedly the number one prospect in baseball. It's been a while since the Mets have called up a prospect of that level. I don't remember the last number one prospect in baseball.
It's a simple question. Did it produce?
No, I'm just saying I was, as a fan in the moment, kind of like, man, if Alvarez did something here, that would be amazing.
That would never have been my reaction to that. I'd have been like, what the fuck are you doing? No. I don't give a shit if this kid. I don't care if this kid is Babe Ruth.
I couldn't see it until
I don't care if this kid is going to be Babe. I don't know if you got a guy you can't buy a hit, and you got a guy who's 2 for 2 with a bomb and 2 ribbies, and you take him out in a game where you have to for a potential. No.
I understand. You're not an emotional Mets fan.
No.
However, Vogelback, I don't know that he's had a hit off a lefty since 1910.
I don't.
So when you take
him born in 1975, hell, 172 was a miracle. Now you're just pushing it. Now I want evidence. I'm going with the 72 one slab, but I want to see evidence.
Here's the other thing. Okay,
I want to know the date, the at bat.
For several days now,
raining?
Maybe a week, Buck has shifted the lineup around because with the absence of Marte, things have been weird. But about the past week or so, he started doing this thing where Pete Alonso started batting second.
I remember that. You brought that up.
And it just didn't feel right.
Yeah, that sounds like he was trying to find something.
Right.
When that's probably something he should have left alone.
Yeah, because it was like...
Because that's the overthinking part, though.
Yeah.
Your team starts to fade. Here comes the team in the rearview mirror that you hate and is defending champion. And now you're trying to, I got to make a move. I got to do something. But sometimes you just got to leave it alone. Sometimes the best thing is to leave alone because, again, water always seeks its level. The Mets, as things were at some point, it's going to. If they were that way all year, they're not just going to. But you start fucking things up and moving things around, and then you can't get back into that rhythm.
Yeah.
Did you ever think of it that way, Buck?
Because Pete is such a great cleanup hitter.
Why would you mess with that? Didn't he break the record? What's the record he broke this year? RBIs in the season?
RBIs in the season.
Yeah, let's move him around. Come on. We're ending this thing before I break the camera.
That's what I'm saying.
Because now I'm more mad than he is, and this ain't even my team.
There was a couple things where I was just like, damn. And then, so here's the funny thing. Then in the last game of the series, he went back to the old lineup. So he skadooshed the series with a different lineup, got to the last game and said, oh, shit, that is the best lineup. Let's go with it. And...
Yeah, now you fucked them up so much.
And I'm going to play James McCann instead of Tomas Nido. That's a botch to me. You botched that. I wish you hadn't have because you've done everything else right this season, I think.
But when it mattered most.
That was a botch job.
Poop, poop, poop.
Yeah.
Poop, 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 poop.
Maybe there's some things I don't know about, though.
Poop, poop,
behind the scenes.
But, ooh, that was a wet one. Anyway, all right.
And losing down the stretch.
We're going to take a break.
Marlins,
we're going to talk
Nats.
to Joe Boo. I need to talk to Joe Boo right now because I can't make sense of what
I need to go to bed. I need to go to bed.
We're coming back for segment 2. It won't be nearly as long
It's
as
got to
this.
be a short one.
It will be a short
I
one.
don't have much left in me.
His G-men are 3-1. They won this weekend. They have a hell of a running
I
game.
love the Giants, but all I see is smoke and mirrors.
Well, we'll talk about that in segment 2. Man Up Monday. Be right back.